This is Ashley Hames, a complete waster. He's 35, he's never had a job, he's spent his life a child. Now though, things have got to change. He's being sent to work in jobs so brutal it'll push him to breaking point. 'Cause for Ashley Hames, it's time to grow up.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Aussie rules football. I've seen it once or twice on the telly. It's played by some of the toughest men in the universe who run a daily risk of suffering horrific injuries. I'm here to play for last season's champions, the Sydney Swans. Let's just hope on a valuable addition to the squad. That's highly unlikely, of course, because the Sydney Swans are the Man United of the AFL Premier League. But in my attempt to become a man in their frighteningly macho world, I've got their equivalent of Rooney to try and prepare me for battle.
Nick Davis! Nick Davis! He has single-handedly sent them into the preliminary final.
It can get quite rough, can't it?
Yeah, it can. I've had 4 knee operations, a couple of broken fingers, a broken foot, and a hernia and a groin operation. So it is dangerous, but on the other side, you can also get out there and hurt other people, which is a fun part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, do you go in to hurt them?
Oh, very much so. You're out there to try and win, and if that means hurting the opposition, then you'll do whatever it takes to win.
This is one of the most physically daunting challenges I've ever undertaken, playing a full Aussie rules match in only 5 days' time against Sydney's Nutter Fringe. Speaking of which...
This guy is the best.
Is he a decent player, is he?
This guy's the best.
Oh, look, Nick's brother's here.
If it wasn't for this guy, he would have won the grand final.
Yes, OK, that's enough, thank you. We desperately need to train.
Davis has kicked 2. He snaps from 40. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
With the bounce, what you got to do, bounce the ball so it lands on that part, and it will just come straight back to you.
Takeaway for the Swans.
Wrong end.
There we go.
Thought it was too good to retrieve.
You don't punch tomorrow, do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, spectacular mark.
But that's fine. That's fine. If they don't see it, it's no foul.
So this is fine?
That's fine. And then make sure someone doesn't come and grab you. First impressions, I think he's got the right attitude for it.
Wow!
He might struggle with a bit of the physical stuff, that's all. On average, we run over 10 Ks per game, so I think he might have to get off the drink and the smokes for a few days. You sure you want to do this?
Beginning to have second thoughts. Manly as they are, one thing Aussie rules players are known for are their ridiculously tight-fitting shorts, which on them is just about acceptable. On mere mortals, however... Do you think these shorts are up high enough?
I could probably go a bit higher.
You want them a
with
little
the shorts, a little bit higher with the shorts.
bit more like that.
Much better.
Come on! Through this... That's the wrong way.
This way.
Come on! Come on!
Out the door. Oh, well, it's locked.
Oh, it's locked. I would say confidence levels are at a bare minimum. I mean, having met Nick and seeing how muscular he is and how professional he is, I've got very little chance of succeeding. Oops, I mean, can't even bounce the ball. Nick was more concerned, though, about my general state of health and called in Sydney Swans physio Matt Cameron to check if my spindly frame was up to the task ahead.
You nervous? Okay, in the last 3 months, have you done any training at all?
No.
Have you had many injuries?
No, just the knee dislocation is the
And-
most recent severe one.
And what sort of sport did you do that in?
Crowd surfing.
Crowd.
A concert. I mean, I broke a few bones in my hand.
What sport was that in?
I jumped on top of a car and fell off.
Terrific.
I'm filled slightly with regret that I've pissed and smoked my health away. I know that is going to be my almost certain downfall. And in a word, I'm scared. The next morning, Nick sent me downtown for my first warm-up game. On arrival, though, I quickly realised that he wasn't taking my abilities remotely seriously.
You are down!
I was being humiliated at every turn. Still, with only days to go to my imminent destruction, I was happy to take any experience going.
Come on, Greens. Let's step it up a gear. 1 point to the Greens!
It's absolutely terrible, absolutely pathetic. I can't believe he's made the effort to come out here.
Just what is it with Australians and attitude? If the little runts here are more than happy to give me shit, what on earth are the big buggers going to be like in 4 days' time?
You've got the big boys on Saturday, and I can only wish you all the luck, because shit, you're going to need it.
Did you really think so?
I think so, yeah.
It was a feeble performance. Nick knew it, I knew it, even the bloody delinquent juniors knew it. The upcoming horror of what I was about to do was no longer a laughing matter. My only chance of survival to stop pissing around with 8-year-olds and just knuckle down with the big boys.
And get up and down back there. You got to get up quick. Bit harder this time.
What's next?
What's next? We're going to work on our football skills. That was disgraceful.
I was beginning to realise that mine and Nick's lifestyles were wholly incompatible. Every time I got up, he knocked me straight back down. And even with the occasional small victory, I could tell he was worried. You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't. I'll get you this time. How'd you go?
Struggling a little bit.
What's the hardest? What do we need to work on? What do you reckon you're going to lack?
Fitness,
Fitness?
heat, breathing,
Skills?
catching, kicking,
Handballing?
tackling.
Strength?
It's a lot we need to address.
Terrific work by Ivan Buchanan.
I am dreading it. I don't think I'm ready.
Davis kicks up Eugene.
There's nothing I can do. It's time to pray.
One last roll of the dice.
Dear God, please let me be okay. Thank you. In the absence of divine intervention, I had to put my faith in much more earthly means to bring my all-too-mortal frame up to scratch. It's fucking freezing. The ice bath is an essential part of any sportsman's physical conditioning regime, and Nick was adamant that I grit my teeth and just bear it. To me, though, it looked like yet another reason to just cut my losses and run.
That's really bloody cold.
In you go.
That's...
It's not that cold.
What's going? No, fuck!
In.
I'm in! Fuck! Is that really good for you?
5 minutes you're supposed to stay in there for.
Stay there for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. In.
I'm cramping my foot.
15 seconds. There you go. Refreshed?
My balls. Can you do that every day, do you?
5 minutes. And that's it. The day is over.
I was letting Nick down at every hurdle, and it was becoming apparent that he was losing all confidence in me, and more worryingly, any particular interest in my welfare. My quest for manhood has taken me to all sorts of incredibly dangerous places right across the globe, but this time it had become obvious that I simply didn't have the tools for the job. I was in serious bloody trouble here, and barring a small miracle, it was obvious to all present that I was heading for a horrendous fall. It wasn't a matter of if, but when I would be badly hurt. That really was the only question, and right now, the one logical answer seemed to be soon. Far too soon. In my worldwide quest to discover the true essence of manhood, I've rather foolishly signed up to play in one of the most ridiculously violent sports in the world. I'm taking on the hardened sportsmen of the Aussie Rules Football League at their own game, and after only 3 days, it's blatantly obvious to all concerned that I'm set for a pummeling. My puny frame is offering no protection, and years of abuse have left my nicotine-ridden lungs simply incapable of coping with the job in hand. Far worse, though, is one daunting fact. Since us Brits took the Ashes back, everyone here in Sydney simply can't wait to give the Poms a good shoeing. With this in mind, and only 3 days to go to the big game, I wangled my way onto Sydney Radio's #1 sports show to try and drum up at least some kind of support for the big day.
I'll tell you right now that you are going to get killed. They will absolutely pummel you.
This is why Aussie Rules petrifies me. It's not something I'm looking forward to, and I think they're dying to annihilate me.
You're a target, you've set yourself up as a target, you're English, which only makes it worse, you look far too much like Hugh Grant's mate, whoever that would be. And I'll be really surprised. Actually, seriously, I'll be honest with you, I'll be surprised if you don't get hurt.
I'm not minute. I've got shoulders. And...
You are a surfboard.
Right.
Good luck though, have a great day.
Well, if that doesn't get him in, nothing will. Right now, though, I'd happily take just one British man and his dog turning up, if they'd help carry me to the nearest ambulance.
Oh. That's quite hard. It's quite dispiriting, to be honest, that I'm in this state physically, because, you know, I know what to blame it on. You know, a decade of laziness. I have to say, I do feel totally destroyed now.
I've got to be afraid. Very afraid. I think we all know. It's looking a bit grim.
Nick was relentless in trying to get my physical strength up. Technically, though, it was also time to move things along. Surprisingly, Aussie Rules isn't just one big punch-up. There are actually disciplines to learn and laws to follow. The scoring, however, is quite simple. Kick the ball between the two big posts in the middle for 6 points. Only 1 point, though, if it goes between the ones on either side.
That's one.
I mean, that is just my kind of luck. It really hurts my feet.
You got anything else you can complain about?
It's quite hard, the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll use your boots.
Do you not find that it hurts?
No.
Have you got any extra padding on it? Is it you normal?
No.
All normal?
They're normal.
Right.
Get it off!
Christ, I couldn't even celebrate without arsing up.
I can't get it off!
I think his running will probably last about 2 or 3 minutes, and then he'll be gasping for air a little bit.
Why do you think that might be?
What the fuck are you doing? Done all that training and now you're having a cigarette.
Oh no.
Don't let me down this afternoon.
Go on, mate.
By this afternoon, he was referring to what will remain one of the most humiliating experiences of my life. Nick had booked me in for a training session with the Sydney ladies team, known as the Sharks, for very good reason. To be honest, I got my ass kicked by Sheilas.
I am learning a few new skills here. The newest skill is not to stare at women's breasts.
Unfortunately, my technical skills were still proving a major issue.
If these girls can take him out, then those guys are going to run rings around them. Be interesting to see how he goes.
And then it happened, a sudden ghastly confrontation with my impending doom.
Is that lot over there, who I believe are either my teammates or opposition on Saturday? I haven't worked it out yet. But, you've got to be scared looking at that lot. We're talking meathead central.
He's going to have to take care of himself, because if you don't know what's happening and you get tackled and you fall wrong, you will get hurt.
Well, bugger that. I was feeling the pain already, but nothing a nice, soothing massage couldn't fix.
What's the best way of getting muscles like this, young man, do you reckon?
A lot of hard work. He would no doubt tell you what he's gone through to get this magnificent physique of his.
So is it nice being massaged and stuff like this? Is this one of the perks of the job?
Yeah, it hurts a bit, but
Right.
it's all right.
Happy ending?
Yeah, it's happy.
Took me a while.
My turn next, and there was nothing happy about this experience whatsoever.
That's making me tense up, that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go a little bit easy on you.
Oh, what's happening? Stop that! Ow! Is that actually doing any good?
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking bastard. You fucking pummeling me.
What are you doing?
My body's hurting. I've got my knob hanging out. Don't look at what you can't have. Stop it! No, please.
Good player.
Can you please leave me and Tommy? What a twat.
Well, the competition on the weekend, I think he might be able to do it. Determination and the will that he's got and what I've seen from the last week, I think will carry him a long way. And if he gets knocked over, he's just got to suck it in and get back up.
Well, I really feel that I have got a battle on my hands. Just seeing these Aussie rules footballers on the training pitch, not even at full throttle. Well, it's reminded me what the human body should look like. I didn't think I was in such bad shape. It's tough at the top and I'm at the bottom, and it's even harder.
The thought of one thing, though, had been bothering me all week: pain. What does it actually feel like to be hit, battered, crumpled? Luckily, it's something I've experienced very little of, but with Nick now called away for international duty, I was handed over to fellow Swans heroes Ryan O'Keefe and Adam Schneider, who were more than happy to fill me in.
You just smiling away happily. Okay, I'm going to give you my best shot. Are you sure that's all right?
There you go.
That was it, wasn't it?
Oh! I mean, I think in some way that was a good exercise, because I felt the pain.
Mate, I think he's in a bit of trouble tomorrow, but
I think some of the boys might get to him.
It fucking hurt.
don't worry about any pain or anything, because you won't feel it until after the game.
It's bloody difficult, this game.
I'm beginning to think this is probably the biggest physical challenge I've ever faced. We're talking a big bunch of lads. Well, they're going to go pommy bashing, and I expect they'll love every moment of it.
It had been a nerve-wracking week, and to be honest, I felt no more prepared now than when I'd first hit town. But this was it. The moment I had been dreading was upon me, and on meeting my monstrous opposing numbers, it was fight or flight time. These boys were freaks of nature. Some were 6'11 plus, others 22 stone, and then some. It was quite obviously going to be a massacre. On the positive side though, following my radio appeal for pommy support, the expats hadn't let me down as they flocked through the turnstiles in their quite literally tens.
I see there's a big crowd out there today as well. I think there's about 7 or 8 people. It's all good. But it must have gone down pretty well on the radio. 1 million listeners, 7 people have turned up. A little bit disappointing. Come on, boys!
It's fair to say the omens were bad. With no support, no muscle definition, and absolutely no way out now, I was a sitting duck, a lamb to the slaughter. In fact, any kind of farmyard animal about to face the chop. As the fecal matter began to trickle into my undercrackers, it was now time to face my demons. The next 40 minutes would quite literally be a case of death or glory. Oh my God. 15 seconds in, I've got a minor concussion, and we're 6 points down already. What's more, this lanky twat has decided he's going to stick tighter to my back than the front row at a Bronxy Beat concert.
You gotta get in there, Ash!
Yes, and I'm not sure whether that was entirely necessary either. It was horrendous. My lungs felt like they were about to explode. My testicles had long since violently imploded. Every time I got the remotest sniff of the ball, one of their fuckers came and ruined it for me.
We're getting annihilated. It's played at a pretty incredible pace, this. And it feels beyond me. I was really confident coming into this game, but...
Don't fucking stand back, move!
In fact, the whole experience was doing nothing to disprove my lifelong theory that playing sport along with partaking in teamwork is essentially, well, shit.
No. That's 18-0. I just hope I'm not being considered the weak link.
Jesus Christ, son! This is the grand final run!
If you're not going to go for the football, don't fucking be here. Don't stand there like a fucking Nancy and not do anything about it, okay? Put your eyes on the football and run at it. Let's go, Ash. Come on. Come on.
Well, that was me told. And what's worse, I couldn't even blame it on an injury or anything. I'd just been crap. It was now or never time in my quest to show all present that I possessed even the remotest trace of masculinity.
Hey, that was good effort. And a big tackle. Good work, Ashley. Oh, he's got the ball. And he does a few, and he got a hit. Hey, that was good work there. Big kick. His pass, beautiful pass. And he's assisted a goal. That's good work. It's just 1,000 times better than he did in the first quarter.
And then, just as it was all going so right, it all went so horribly wrong.
And I think he got hurt. Yeah. The big fella just buried him into the ground.
The huge bastard had fouled me horribly, and little did I know then that I'd end up paying in x-rays over the weeks to come. In the meantime, though, I had a penalty to take. We were never going to win, but this was my last chance to finally make my name as an Aussie Rules footballer.
Am I good to go? All right, let's fucking do it!
And he's kicked the goal.
Oh, the glory!
We were always onto a loser, but somehow and in some small way, I think I'd proved myself.
Well, that game was memorable. Not really because of my performance. I think it was a mediocre performance. But chiefly I'm going to remember it for having had about 23 stone of pure beef landing on top of me. But I suppose it's that kind of sacrifice which makes Aussie Rules footballers what they are. I'm not one of them, but at least I tried. And I got some free champagne out of it.
For someone who's just started this week, he's done extremely well.
There was a time.
He came here and had a go. He didn't wuss out, and he really, he put it on the line. I thought he had a real good game.
Seemed like we'd all be taken under, but now I can't complain.
Up and back twice?
Up and back
not
twice.
Not just the once?
No, not just the once.
Up and back twice?
Up and back twice.
OK, do we have to...